the end of October, like every year, I was fortunate enough to attend the London International Guitar Show. And one of my favorite things about that guitar show specifically is that you get the opportunity to meet tons, but I say tons, of independent boutique guitar makers that normally, just because of geography, because they're in different parts of the country, you wouldn't have the chance to meet. Whilst I was casually drooling over various guitars, I stopped at a stand that really caught my attention. I started chatting to the maker of the guitars, and it was clear even in the first couple of minutes they had a real passion for making guitars and tried to do everything with the utmost attention to detail and love of the instrument. Now, sometimes these things happen and then you kind of forget about it, or people have different priorities. But fast forward a few weeks, and whilst we were just casually talking about guitars on social media, as you do, said to me, "Hey, why don't I bring you a couple of guitars down to London?" And I said, "Hell yeah." So before I knew it, he was in his car driving down. Now, first of all, that's not a quick drive, so thank you again for doing this. But second of all, we're in for a treat because we've got two really cool guitars to review. As I know you guys have the attention span of a goldfish, let's do two separate video reviews. And today we are starting with the beautiful Wren. So I've seen it already. Do you want to see it? Well, here it is in a beautiful Hiscock hard case. Best cases around, by the way. Before we go any further, SL Guitars did bring two guitars over for me to review. So I've marked this as a sponsored post. But all thoughts are my own. If they were crap, I would say it, or I probably wouldn't even review them. Let's do this. Where is it? There it is. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at that. That's beautiful. Here you go, guys. Look at this. Is this not absolutely beautiful? Wow. Look at the back as well. Attention to detail. Gotta say, it looks really, really awesome. Just to give you a bit of background on SL Guitars, all these guitars are made in South Yorkshire in the UK by hand. They are custom built, and as such, there are a variety of options, features, pickup types that you can request. SL Guitars has currently a roster of a few models that are already made, that are kind of doing the rounds of the exhibitions and show, and those are available to buy on the website, which I will link down below. But generally, bear in mind that everything you see here, except for bits of the hardware like the pickups, the bridge, the tuners, etc., is handmade by SL Guitars. So the neck is carved by hand, the body, all the details are handmade. What's the most important thing about a custom guitar? I guess, except for how beautiful it looks, we've got to start with the specs. Let's do it. If you didn't guess it from the logo and the name of this guitar, all the SL guitars are named after birds. And this is the Wren. Starting with the specs, going from the top down, we have this really cool headstock, very nice design. It's nice and chunky, but also classy. You have the beautiful inlay of SL Guitars with the pretty bird. Then turn around and look at these beautiful Goto locking tuners. Absolutely beautiful. They look great on this guitar, but most importantly, you know I'm a big fan of locking tuners, and why wouldn't you put them on? Really good start when I see locking tuners. Then moving down, beautiful detail on the truss rod cover as well, and we have a graphite nut. Just for fun, let's look at the action. Put your finger on the third, tap the first fret. This nut is cut really, really well. So already, if that's anything, that's an indication this guitar is going to stay in tune when we play. At the front, you have a very dark ebony fretboard. Beautiful color. And at the back, you've got a sapele. You know what I mean. One piece neck. Or at least I think it's one piece. Yeah, I think it's a one piece. Well, SL guitars, comment below if I'm wrong, but I can't see a scarf joint. If there is, you've hidden it really, really well. Very nice. And look at the little details. This little volute here. I love that word, volute. This little volute is so cool and also doesn't get in your way. Really, really nice. You have beautiful natural binding on the fingerboard, very comfortable and rounded. The back of the neck is finished with natural oil, so it doesn't stick and feels really smooth. In terms of scale length, we've got a 24.75 scale length, traditional, but here comes the magic. These are 22 stainless steel frets. Absolutely amazing job on the fret ends. No fret sprout whatsoever. They are shiny as hell and very smooth when you bend like that. Oh, feels like glass. Really, really good job there. I almost forgot to say, these fret markers are an absolute work of genius. You have a circle of aluminium or aluminum, and inside you have abalone. They look so nice because it kind of pops out at you. They play against each other and it pops out really nicely. One of those small details that I was mentioning before, right? Moving down to the body, you might have guessed it. It's made out of that wood that I can't pronounce. Sapele. But for the top, you have this beautifully figured spalted beech. Again, it just dances really nicely. You get all this kind of wavy movement, which is just finished in natural oil. It just feels very tactile. You're actually touching the wood. Moving down to the really exciting area, we've got a very standard double humbucker configuration as this type of guitar normally has, and we have two iron gear pickups. If you don't know, Iron Gear pickups, very good brand of pickups made in the UK. Not expensive at all, just the right price. So good to see them on this guitar. And then go to hardware and these really cool controls, volume, tone. But with the extra little surprise of being able to split the pickups, and so push, you can get those single coil sounds from both pickups. Finally, moving to the back, that attention to detail that I keep mentioning is brought forward. You can see the control cavities here and here again, finished with that spalted beech. Very, very nice. Flush to the body. Now, being a LP type guitar, yes, Gibson, don't sue me. This is a fairly chunky guitar. It is not weight relieved at all, but I've got to say, it's still pretty reasonable in terms of weight. Obviously, it's not on the light side, but I've definitely played guitars that are way heavier than this one, especially some of the older Gibsons. But you know what? Don't take my word for it. Let's weigh it, because I think this guitar deserves it. So, no, I'm not hurting the guitar, don't worry, guys. There you go, stabilized at 4.66 kilos. And don't ask me what that is in other units, because I don't know and I don't really care. So that's enough for the specs of this guitar, because specs on paper don't really mean that much if the guitar doesn't play and doesn't sound good. So let's plug in. I'm all plugged in, got my earphones on. The beautiful Wren is ready to rock and roll. Just in terms of signal chain, I am plugged straight into my audio interface. And today I'm running a plugin that totally fits this guitar and rocks. It's the Unveiling Audio MP1 Pro. And you know what? Screw that. Let's just start with the dirty sounds. Let's go. let's do some cleans. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed those sound samples and also that little intro jam that I did at the beginning. As always, it's time to start wrapping things up and talk about pros and cons, talk about who this guitar is for and should you buy it, and 3, my final thoughts. So let's start with the pros as always because I'm a positive kind of guy. First of all, guys, come on, just look at this bloody thing. It is beautiful. I really like the look of it, and it just looks the part. It's classy. It's not over the top. The details, just aesthetically, are beautiful. You can tell that it's something that's been thought of and planned very, very carefully. Everything goes together. There's literally nothing like we're changing this. Just look at simple detail like this, right? That silver stripe there looks, woo, first pro. Second pro, it's gotta be how it feels. This guitar feels so comfortable to play. I was so surprised by its neck. It's kind of what you want a Gibson neck to feel like. It's not sticky, it's beautiful. The stainless steel frets are amazing. It is a chunky guitar. It's on the heavier side, but you know what? It sits perfectly if you're playing sitting down, or I've tried it with a strap and it doesn't dive either way. Les Paul sometimes can have a heavy bottom. That one that I have back there certainly does. This one, perfectly balanced. It's very comfortable to play. The action, obviously, guys, you're talking about a custom guitar, is so fast and smooth, not tiring at all. Straight out the box, by the way, just what you imagine a kind of top guitar to be like. Easy to play, fast. You have all the access down here. The neck joint is really comfortable. It's just a very clean and easy guitar to play. My third pro, and I'm a massive fan of this, and this is one of the things that normally drives me nuts on these kind of guitars, the tuning stability. I am not kidding you guys. I have barely tuned this. I've tuned it, I think, once at the beginning, and it was almost there. Since then, I've tried to get it out of tune. It just won't go out of tune. And you know why that is? Because best components have been used, but also it's just the way it's set up, and the angle, the neck angle, everything is perfect. My final pro, it has to be the sound. I haven't mentioned it yet. This guitar sounds fantastic. Very versatile, not what you'd expect necessarily from a Les Paul. Obviously, the choice of the pickups are helping. These iron gear pickups are very versatile with the fact that you can split them with the push-push knobs here, but I think it also has to do with the construction and the top choice of woods. I know there's a bit of debate there whether the woods matter or not, but undoubtedly, I think just even acoustically, this guitar projects, it sounds alive. And that's one of the big struggles, I think, especially with LP style guitars from the big G brand. Sometimes you can just feel that they're not resonant. This doesn't have it, even in the neck pickup, which on some of those G's sounds way too muddy and too dark. This sounds great. Yes, the pickup, but also everything about it. The stainless steel frets, maybe they help as well. It just has that sparkly top end that normally you only get on really, really good guitars. Now, guys, let's move on to the cons. Are there any? Look, this guitar has been made with the utmost, but I say utmost, attention to detail. There is nothing that has been kind of rushed or left as an afterthought. The finish is immaculate. The frets, they are beautiful. The side dots are center, and everything is just done really, really well. The only thing I can think of that could be, for some of you, a con is the weight of the guitar. There's no way to get around it. This is a heavy guitar. It's on the heavier side. If you play long gigs standing up, you may get a little bit of a back pain with it. It is what it is. If you want a full big piece of wood like this, which this is, then it's going to weigh a little bit. But on the other side, hey, no need to go to the gym. Just do a few of these and you're done. Okay, guys, well now we've got to talk about who this guitar is for and whether you should buy it. So firstly, let's get this straight. This guitar, as it is, can do absolutely any style of music. So whether you're in extreme death metal to jazz, this guitar can do it. It's super versatile. You've got all the controls that you want. Single coils sounds out of it. Usually, I don't actually like them that much. These single coils sound surprisingly good. So it's a very, very versatile guitar. If you're more into that like rocking, shredding stuff, which I'm not, but you may be, it's fast as well. So the neck is super, super fast. This is the neck that Gibson should all have, by the way. Just saying, don't kill me. In terms of playing live or in the studio, an additional thing that I think is well worth mentioning is the fact that it's got a totally workhorse vibe to it as well. Many of you will know that, especially if you're in the studio or you do session work for other people, staying in tune and not having to retune every 20 seconds is super, super important because you don't want to waste anyone's time. That definitely ticks the box for a workhorse guitar in the studio that's versatile and you can just bring to a session and jam on. Same thing for live playing. I think this definitely works very well in a live scenario. It looks totally the part and plays very, very easily. Even if you get sweaty paws, this neck will feel comfortable, won't get sticky. The final bit of answering that question, whether you should buy this, is really to think about what kind of guitar market you're in. So guys, obviously this is a custom handmade guitar. If I'm not mistaken, the current price on the SL Guitar website is under £2,000. I think it's £1,900. Keeping in mind that it is a fully handmade custom guitar. I think everyone understands that $2,000 in this current world, in this current economy, is a lot of money. But here's the catch. This cannot be compared to something that costs $200. So you need to compare apples with apples. So really the consideration here is if you are in the kind of market for a Gibson Les Paul, a PRS, a Fender, American, whatever, they change their names every 20 seconds, guitars that are very much in the same price range as this. And that's where I think you should have a objective view of what you are getting. Yes, guys, there's no doubt resale value may be a consideration. Gibson, Fender, whatever, they have that big name on the headstock. But you know what? Music and guitars, I don't feel are like that. If you are a collector, fair enough, that's a completely different thing. But if you are someone who wants the best instrument that they can possibly buy for whatever money there is, then just the specs alone will already be the big G and Fender as well, and all of those Gretsch, PRS. But in addition to that, you also add these small details that make this a whole. For example, the extreme work that has been put in choosing this right top, in matching the kind of aesthetics of the guitar, in rounding the fret ends, making the guitar as solid and as correct as possible, then I think it's definitely something that you should consider. Because let's cut to the chase. If you get 50 Les Pauls in here from Gibson, the top of the range, 3 of them will sound and play like this, the others won't. And you don't have that issue with poor craftsmanship, with paint cracks, the usual stuff, the normal stuff that you get, but at a certain price you shouldn't get. And I think that's a little bit of a myth that needs to be addressed here. Getting a custom guitar, getting a guitar from a small builder like this is not more expensive than one of the big brands. That's just not correct. Okay guys, time for my final thoughts as always. I'm just going to start by saying I've kind of moved slightly off Les Paul guitars in the past couple of years because they felt a bit limiting for me. They felt a bit samey in the terms of sound, uncomfortable. There's something, maybe it's age, but whatever. I just feel uncomfortable playing them with the big ass falling down all the time. These are things that happen, but what was funny is when I picked this guitar up, it kind of had all the great things that I liked about Les Pauls originally. So the neck, the feel, the warm sound, but minus the shitty stuff. This guitar has to undoubtedly be one of the best sounding and playing Les Pauls that I've ever tried. As I always keep saying, what makes or breaks a guitar is the neck for me. Yes, we all want a pretty and beautiful guitar or something that looks pretty, but if you can't play it, if the neck is uncomfortable, then it's a total deal breaker, right? This neck I am absolutely in love with. It's not only beautiful to look, but also to touch. It's exactly the right shape for at least my hands. Some of you may differ, but it just feels so comfortable. You get no hand fatigue at all. With these stainless steel frets, it just plays beautifully. The bends are so smooth. No real friction anywhere. It just makes it so much easier to play something. And what's the logical conclusion? You just play for longer, you play more, and that's the beauty of it. One of the also important things when I look at something that is custom made or something that is a little more boutique-y is also what hardware they choose, what components they choose. And I think that's one of the things that shows whether someone is doing something for the right reasons or not. Because the Goto hardware here is absolutely beautiful. It's functional. It's intelligent because it just makes everyone's life easier. And it's just very, very solid. So again, the tuning, impeccable. Oh my God, the guitar with the best tuning stability I've ever played. It feels really, really harsh for me to say this, but this is kind of the LP that the big G can't make just because it's so good and so solid. It's really, really an amazing guitar. It's made me rediscover my love for this shape, and I'm just so pleased to have played this instrument, which again, it's mind-boggling for me to think about someone making this purely by hand and all the attention to detail and passion that they put into their work. So guys, remember, Viz is just one of the available models. The whole point of SL Guitars is that it's a conversation. You click on the website, you contact them, and they'll talk about options. They'll help you. If you have a budget, you can keep it lower. It doesn't have to be Viz. This is just an example of what they can do, and it's just a pure work of art. And if you have any special requests in terms of hardware, that's just a conversation to have with them. So that's the beauty of it. You can make your dreams come true, or at least in terms of guitars. As I mentioned in a few of my other videos, these builders are the beautiful and creative side of the guitar industry. People like SL Guitars make guitars or artwork that is beyond the corporate greed, beyond the ideas of what people want. They make the best things that they can humanly do. And it really shows, because not only is it an impeccable instrument, but it also has heart. And that's the most important thing that those other guys don't have. So as always, what I will do is put all the links to SL Guitars down in the description. Hook up with them on Instagram, whatever social media. Go check them out. Go on the website, because Steve is an incredible human being, and he will be able to help out with any questions or any queries you may have. Remember, in a world of AI, in a world of technology, one thing they haven't managed to replicate, that's the emotions and the soul that makes art, music beautiful. Rant over. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We're doing really cool things on this channel. And remember, it's a community. I want everyone to be nice. Share your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Do you see a big brand being able to make a guitar of this quality? I don't, but let me know otherwise in the comments. It's a nice conversation to have. And please, please, please be nice to each other. Keep playing guitar. It's a beautiful world, and we need to all get along. So peace, love, and guitars.